It is Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. This is another playoff edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Looking for a refreshing citrusy kick? Go grab yourself a Mountain Dew. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, and intern Sawyer along for the ride as well. And Mr. Plouffe, I start off with the wise words of future Baseball Hall of Famer Freddie Freeman, who told the TBS crew in their post-game coverage, man, oh man, if you're not spent after playing one of these games, you haven't emptied the tank. I think that goes for fans who watch back-to-back ALCS and then NLCS games.
I'm not that tired. I look pretty good right now. I feel good. I know you're feeling it. It's because you do double duty. You're doing the NFL stuff.
Okay.
You're doing this. Sometimes I do get a little frustrated having to watch 4 games, which sounds ridiculous. I never want to say that out loud. And Olivia always tells me, do not tell people that.
Right.
But I'm fired up right now, Chris, because we got a really good second game, at least.
We certainly did. So let's get to it. We saw one of the greatest starting pitching performances, I think, in the history of playoff baseball. It was by Blake Snell. But it was a different Blake that had to save the night for the Dodgers after a questionable managerial decision and then a collapse by their newfound closer.
Terrain, a swing and a miss, and Blake Trinan closes the door. The Brewers strand the bases loaded, and the beleaguered Dodger bullpen searching for answers. They found one in Blake Trinan tonight.
Blake, congratulations. Watching you watch the 9th was tough. What were you thinking?
I trust him. I trust Roki, trust Blake. We just got to attack the zone better. A lot of walks there, that one hit, so just got to get in the zone. But those guys, they're going to figure out they're really good.
Any conversation about going out in the 9th with Dave?
No, he said it was it, so I just trust him, and yeah.
That was Blake Snell's post-game interview with the outstanding Lauren Shahadi. He was lying, wasn't he?
Yeah, you could see his eyes wandering there. He was probably like, I wanted to be out there. Did you see me, how I was throwing the ball tonight?
I mean, I put it out in a tweet that after the 8th, he was at 103 pitches. His season high was 112. I don't care. Leave him out there. How in the heck? And Dave Roberts said afterward it was a 50-50 decision. And could you imagine if the Brewers came back and won this thing, the amount of heat he would be under?
I can't imagine it. We've seen this happen before, and I wasn't in the 8th inning before. When did Kevin Cash come out? In like the 6th or 5th?
Yeah. It was after the Dodgers' first hit of Game 6 of the 2020 World Series.
We've seen it play out, and I don't know. I just think you sign this guy to a deal. He's looking as good as a pitcher's ever looked in the postseason, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
He's faced the minimum batters. The stress innings are none, 0. When are you going to let him finish a game? If it wasn't tonight, when do you let him finish one?
Well, part of Dave's response was, well, for his next start, we want to make sure that stop right there. I don't need to hear any part of that. You have 4 games to win in a 7-game series. If you could put one in your back pocket and make it the first one and make it one on the road, don't even sit here and let's play out the worst case scenario here that Snell lets somebody on with 2 outs and you still want him to throw. Let's say he ends up at 123 pitches. Well, if he's not ready for whatever reason to go in Game 5, you have enough pitching on this team. For God's sakes, you have Clayton Kershaw. You don't even know what to do with him on the roster. That you could pitch Blake Snell in Game 6 if you needed him then for whatever.
I just think, 103 pitches, and all we ever hear is pitch count isn't. We don't know what the pitch count is that causes fatigue. It's more about the stress of those pitches. He didn't have that tonight.
None.
He looked great. So look, here's what you do. You have Roki warming or whoever you want warming, and then you let him go out there. And if he gets in trouble, you pull him. But he was so good, it was not going to happen. And I also think the other benefit of keeping him in there is you're saving a look. They haven't seen Roki before, so now all of a sudden they've seen Roki, and then they got to peek at Trinan as well. So you're trying to limit your bullpen, the exposure of them, because they're not. That's like your weak link right now. If you're the Dodgers, is your bullpen. So why expose them more than you have to? Your pitcher is absolutely dealing. If there were labored innings and he was walking guys, I totally understand that. but there was 0 walks, 0 labor. He was absolutely dealing. This had to be the time to leave him in. And I'm not going to sit here and have people tell me it's hindsight. It's not, dude. Like,
No.
this is the time to leave your pitcher in. Like this tonight, when he has command of every single pitch and he faced the minimum, Chris.
The one guy that got a hit in Durban, he ended up picking him off. So
I don't know what else there is to say. I
don't
don't know what else can convince a manager to let a guy finish a game.
And for people to say, well, it's about Roki getting a clean inning. Yo, if you are going to pitch effectively out of the bullpen in the playoffs, it's not linear. It's not perfect. There are shit situations you have to come in order to save your team's ass. And so I get it that he hasn't done this very long, like literally 10 days. This is the way it is. The Dodgers don't have a bona fide closer. Roki's got the best stuff. Let him do it, and that means putting him sometimes in uncomfortable situations.
Do you think this is good for Trinan, though? I do.
Yes. Yes. Now, I do like Dave Roberts coming out and getting Roki.
Yes.
And, Contreras gave a great at-bat against Trinan, ended up working a walk. And then Trinan, we'll see how much that affects him in a positive manner moving forward. I am curious for your opinion on what role this might have emotionally and mentally on Roki moving forward. Anything?
Well, I think because Dave got him out of there before like real damage was done, I think it was great. That's like he crushed it right there. So if I'm going to talk crap about him taking Snell out, I got to give him flowers. I think he did a good job of getting Roki out of there. I think Roki will be fine.
I want to talk more.
The more chances he gets in these high leverage situations, the more comfortable he'll feel.
Yep.
And look, now he understands like it's not always just going to be on me. Like we got other guys that can do it. I had a guy come bail me out today. If you're a player and you feel that way, like, hey, like if you feel like the whole weight of the world is on your shoulders and there's nobody else coming to save you, that can get frustrating, or it could, you could really feel it. But the fact that Dave got him out of there and Trinan came in and cleaned up, I think it's a plus.
I'm curious how Dodgers and Brewers fans sat through that 9th inning. Let us know in the comments how you were feeling, what you were thinking when Snell was pulled, etc. I still think we got to focus a little bit more on Blake Snell. He's now had 3 postseason starts. In fact, he has won 3 of the Dodgers' 6 games so far in October, which is pretty darn special. Started out by going 6 innings against the Reds, 7 against Philly, now 8 against Milwaukee. So he has thrown 21 innings. He's given up 2 runs. He has struck out 28. He has allowed 6 hits. Let's remember a little bit about Blake Snell. Yes, he's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, but those 4 years in between, he never pitched more than 128 innings. In the post-game press conference on Monday, he said, I don't know why people think I've been a wild pitcher throughout my career. I throw the ball. I know that that's not the case. Well, except that the year that he won his 2nd Cy Young, he led the league in walks with 99. So he's averaged 4 walks per 9 throughout his career. I don't know if it's effectively wild, but to me, the last 3 years, he has been such a different pitcher than he was earlier in his career, because I was like, oh, what did Snell go? 4 2/3 and throw 101 pitches and they pulled him? Well, now he's more economical. He dices guys up, and the guy doesn't give up any hits.
I also think earlier on, and I've heard interviews of him talking about like, hey, I just do it a different way. I think he was just exclusively trying to miss bats. And sometimes when you get into that mode, you just never give in and you end up walking people that way. So I think there's a little bit of that at least. And now I think as he's matured as a pitcher, and he's so confident in his stuff right now that he's like a scuba who can get swing and miss in zone. Like he had command of everything. And I've said this a million times about this guy, and it was never more true than tonight. Everything looks the same coming out of his hand. And then all of a sudden, when you go to swing, it's not. And tonight was maybe the best we've ever seen him.
Remember when he signed in the offseason with the Dodgers and everybody's like, what a luxury. This is not a luxury. This is a necessity. He has set the tone in every series so far in which he's pitched. whether it's at home against the Reds or on the road against Philly and now Milwaukee. He just has done a remarkable job, and it just seems so effortless. It was as dominant a pitching performance as a lot of us have seen, with as much as was at stake. Just fascinating stuff. A few other things I want to get through in this game. Why do teams continue to give free passes to Shohei Ohtani in order to face Mookie Betts with the bases loaded? It is now blown up in Philly's face and in Milwaukee's face. And Pat Murphy said afterward, it really wasn't that hard a decision. I mean, even though Shohei is struggling, no disrespect to Mookie, but that's the right play there.
It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, that's the way this Dodgers lineup is constructed. That's the whole problem with them. Like, that you have to decide what you want to do with these guys. And I know Ohtani, has struggled in the postseason. He's faced some pretty damn good pitchers. I think Murphy talked about that pregame as well. Like, hey, like he's faced Luzardo, Ranger Suarez, and Wheeler. Like, these guys are good pitchers. Like, anyone's going to struggle against them. He can get hot at any moment, which he can. I don't have a problem walking him unless it loads the bases, which we've now seen twice in this postseason backfire. So yeah, I don't know what you do. Like, that's an impossible situation for Pat Murphy.
Yeah, except that he's hitting 138, and we're talking about Shohei, and I get it. It would have been lefty against righty, and a lot of his issues have come because he's faced challenging left-handers throughout the postseason. And maybe part of it is that he doesn't want Shohei to get that one swing that will unlock him. Is that possible?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, he's struggling right now, but he's a guy that, like, again, at any second can come out of it. I mean, look at his – people forget how good of a hitter he is. So that is part of it. But again, it's just damned if you do, damned if you don't. And if you walk Mookie, what do you got to deal with after him? It's Freddie. It's why the Dodgers are – it's hard to pick against the Dodgers.
Right.
Because you have those three guys right in a row. And then you have postseason hero Kike Hernandez. You got Will Smith. You got Max Muncy. They have a very, very long lineup, but specifically those first three guys, they create nightmare matchups and nightmare decisions for managers.
Yeah. Well, in this game, obviously, because they started off against the lefty, Freddie hit fourth, Teo hit third. But Freddie, we talked about him on Monday's show, that this is a guy who had to pick it up a little bit. He had only 2 extra base hits coming into game 1 of the NLCS. He erases a 0-0 game with a home run, had a double down the line later. And it's so funny. I remember years ago that you've played in Milwaukee a lot, right? A lot of guys like hitting in that ballpark. He was a guy who said, I couldn't stand it. I remember he told us this one time on Intentional Talk. He said, I can't stand hitting there. And his numbers are freakish in that ballpark. And of course, he's also done a lot of damage against the Brewers in postseasons past. Particularly 2021 when he took Hader deep in the deciding game or in the clinching game when he played with the Atlanta Braves. So to kind of get him going, that's just another thing that you have to worry about if you're Pat Murphy.
Yeah, they were talking about the ballpark on the broadcast, how most guys say it's, they like hitting there, but it has been, especially this year, a negative park factor for hitters. And I'm not really sure why or like what happened. But I think it's the humidor. The balls now are different. I'd have to look up. I believe it's just this year, but it might be rolling over the last 3 years that it's been a negative park factor for hitters.
Finally, can we get to the freakish play, if you don't mind? The most interesting 400-foot grounding into a double play in baseball history, hit by Max Muncy. Sal Frelick made I thought at first he caught it. I thought he popped it in the air and caught it. Chad Fairchild, who is the left field line ump, made the call that no, he didn't catch it. Teo, he screwed up the base running, got forced out at home. Contreras wisely ran to third to force Will Smith. Yeah, Sal, I'm with you, man. I am with you. I've got the what just happened look on me. Did you have any idea when it happened live what was going on?
I didn't know that it hit the fence. So that was the biggest thing. I thought that he tipped it up and then caught it. So, guys would have to tag. I think where Teo messed up is, you don't have to wait for him to physically make the catch. As soon as it hits his glove, that's your tag. It could pop up. It doesn't matter. Like if it hits his glove, you tag. You see he went tagged, went off, went back because he saw him tip it up. That was the main problem. And then Will Smith there, he's too far in between second and third. You need to be closer to second base because if that ball is caught, you want to be able to tag to third base. And even if it isn't, he's too far. Like, he's going to score easy no matter what. He needed to be closer to the bag. And he had a really bad read on it right there. He was the one telling Edman to go back. And all the while, William Contreras somebody picked up the left field umpire calling it a no catch. I don't know who it was because it didn't look like William Contreras there. I thought it was him. So maybe it was somebody in the dugout, or maybe it was a third baseman. I don't know. He called it right away. And all of a sudden, William did a great job not tagging there, playing the force, and then just ran down. So William had to have seen the no catch call because he stretched for that ball.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't see that, he applies a tag.
Yeah, by the way, I believe that if Contreras tags Teo out with his glove, it no longer becomes a force play at third.
Oh, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Wait, where are we in the runners? Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Because it's a no catch. He didn't catch it.
It is no catch, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It was something else that happened the other day with Naylor.
Yeah, no, it's a no catch. So all the runners are going.
Yes.
So Will Smith just had a bad read on it. Teo should not have re-tagged because you got to know that rule.
Yes, you do. And Dave Roberts actually kind of called him out in the post-game press conference. He said, it's a rule that we all go over. Teo owned it. He messed up. Fortunately, it didn't cost us a game or anything. I do want to make a suggestion to Major League Baseball. A couple of things. Number one, we know that they add foul line umpires down the left and right field line for the playoffs, which is a good thing. But the problem was none of the other umpires on the field followed Fairchild's call. So if you're a base runner, you don't even know to look to the left field umpire to see what call he's making. So you might be relying on somebody that's at your base. Shouldn't those guys have made a call?
It's so difficult. I mean, I was talking about Will Smith right there. Like in the moment, that's very, very difficult to. It's very. People in my mentions were saying that's just terrible base running. It's like, no, it was confused base running. Like you're saying, like maybe they didn't see that and make the call. And in my first impression, I thought he tipped the ball up to himself and then caught it, which would mean that you got to go back and tag. So.
But don't the umpires have to help out the players on the field so that they know? What I'm saying is Chad Fairchild makes the correct call on the left field line. Shouldn't the other umpires be watching him and then saying, well,
I think they're all looking at the ball. That's what they're doing. I don't know, man.
So the players just have to figure out shit on their own without any guidance from umpires. That sounds screwed up.
Because other umpires have different jobs there. Now the base umpires have to make sure these guys are tagging, so they're looking at the base runners right there. They're not looking at the ball necessarily. It was just a shit play. It was a crazy play.
It gets me to my bigger gripe with the sport. Why is it that we're the only one that doesn't have a former umpire assisting the television audience with something like this?
No idea.
Because what I would have done, I would have somebody at the very least, if you don't want to do it during the regular season, which I think would be a great addition, you have to have it for the playoffs. Have the networks all split the cost of employing the umpire. You can have them at Chelsea Piers so they're in the room and they can talk about what they're looking at and explain it to the fan base. Like, whose responsibility is it to focus on that ball in center field? Is it Chad Fairchild? Is it whoever's on the right field line? What about the second base umpire? Does that person also watch, or are they busy watching the base? Let's make things easier for our baseball audience to understand. And that way, the announcers could have peppered the umpire analyst, if you will, with the questions that we have as baseball fans, because we don't, A, know all the rules, or B, know the protocol of which umpire is watching what thing that's happening on the field. Can't we make it easier?
I agree with you. I would love to have a former umpire. You know, number one, creating jobs. Love that. Number two, yeah, it's like we should have more explanation. I thought they did a good job on the broadcast explaining it. I thought they did fine, but I'm with you on that 100%.
Yeah, but once again, we don't know whose job is to watch the ball in center field. Is it 3 umpires? Is it the second base? Is it left field line
It would
and
be
right
both. It
field?
would be both the line umpires, I guess is what you call them.
But are you 100% sure of that?
I am, because there's runners on first and second that the base umpires have to make sure they're doing the right thing around the base.
But what do you think is the second base umpire's responsibility on that?
He's looking at the guy at second base.
Why isn't he looking at the ball in center field? He might have the best look at it.
He doesn't need, because he has to make sure the guy's tagging.
He also has
Or
to make
not
sure the
tagging.
ball's being caught. I mean, that's my point. Here's my point. These are all questions that a former major league umpire could hopefully answer. Now, it's not perfect. We watch this with the NFL every weekend, and we feel like, really, you kind of feel like they're making it up on the spot. But I do think in an instance like this, it would be helpful, and there would be other plays at the plate. You know, is the catcher blocking a lane? What are we looking for? Instead of having play-by-play and former major league players explain the rules to us, why don't we have somebody who was there to enforce the rules explain it to us?
I also like to tap into what they're listening to from the replay booth. We've talked about that too. Like, I want to hear their discussions.
Yes, that'd be great. They do that in some of the college football world, and I think they did it in some of the spring leagues, actually, in professional football in the spring leagues.
I think
And that
a lot
stuff
of
is
like,
great.
shit, Jim, I don't know. What do you think? Oh, shit, I don't know.
All right, so a lot to get through. Would you like to have an umpire analyst? How confused were you with the whole thing? There's a lot of stuff to go over here. A lot of stuff. All right, today's episode, Baseball Today, it is sponsored by Nutrafol. There's nothing quite like the postseason. It's full of moments that we can take our hats off to. That's why Nutrafol is now the official hair growth partner of MLB. They want to help fans celebrate what's under the hat with thicker, stronger hair they can feel confident showing off. Did you know Nutrafol is the #1 hair growth supplement in the game? Clinically proven to see results in 3 to 6 months. Nutrafol, it's all about growth, the kind that takes time, commitment, and consistency. And that's why they love this great game of baseball, because it's more than just a game. It's about showing up day after day, season after season, because when you get the biggest moments, nothing should hold you back. In the postseason, whether you're tipping your cap to a walk-off win or just enjoying the game, you can do it with hair worth celebrating. Visit Nutrafol.com to take $10 off your first month subscription and join millions seeking thicker and stronger hair. All right, so only one LCS game on Tuesday. It'll happen night in Milwaukee again. It'll be Peralta against Yamamoto. Dave Roberts, before game one, was asked about how nice it is that he doesn't have to use an opener this postseason.
It's a good thing when your best arms in each particular game are going to take down the most outs. And so that's where we're at right now this year, where last year, knowing that your starter wasn't going to take down the most outs in most cases, tougher to navigate. So this is a much better situation.
Yeah, and he's got his whole rotation lined up, and he's going to be feeling good about that. But let's remember what happened during the regular season with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. His lone appearance in Milwaukee, it was ugly. It was his shortest start of the year. He did not even make it out of the first inning. How much of an edge does this give the Brewers now in game two?
I mean, he clearly wasn't himself right there, although like the numbers are a little misleading. That was Andrew Vaughn got a hanger right there, but there's also a Mookie error. There was a ball down the right field line that was kind of a blooper. So it wasn't as bad as it seems. I don't think it really means anything. He's been, if he's on and locating, he's going to do his thing. I guess if you're Milwaukee, you say, hey, we've done it before against this guy. We've worked some good at-bats against him. We hit his mistakes. So it does, I guess help them a little bit. But I don't think that is going to be, one, in his mind at all, and two, really going to have any effect on the game.
Well, that started the legend of Andrew Vaughn in Milwaukee. That was his first at bat as a Brewer. I
was going to ask, when was that in the Andrew Vaughn era? That was first at bat. Great. Yeah. That was a hanger. He got it.
That's what launched his amazing career there. So I think that it's important. I think obviously when I talk to you guys, you talk about past successes and having that in the back of your brain and feeling confident when you step into the batter's box, particularly against a guy who on last week during the show, we were asking where does Yamamoto rank in terms of starting pitchers? And we felt like, oh, well, he's top 5-ish. So when he's that good, you want to at least feel good going into the box as best you can. For me, I'm really watching Freddie Peralta here. He's been so interesting. He actually went against Yamamoto that day and pitched 6 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts. I think he allowed 4 or 5 hits or something like that. He has at times been a part of the big moment and done a great job. And then there's been times where Freddie has, in old Blake Snell fashion, thrown 83 pitches and gotten through 3 2/3 or 4 1/3. And he's got to be better than that here. They have relied an awful lot on this bullpen, a ton on this bullpen through 6 games. And I think he's got to give them at least 6 and allow no more than 2 runs.
That's a heavy ask right there against this Dodgers team.
But he's got it.
I just don't know if that's even what Pat Murphy wants. I think look, will you take 6 innings, pitch 2 runs? Yes, I'm not saying that. I'm just thinking like the way they're approaching this is, will they let him go a third time through the order? Now, I don't know if he's the one guy that breaks the mold there, but I do believe that the Brewers think about stuff like that, and they do have a very effective bullpen. I know they've used him quite a bit, but to me, unless he is absolutely dealing, I don't think that happens. I think they'd be very happy with let's just call it 5. Like that to me seems like a high mark that they would want him to go, or like, again, unless he's completely dealing. But I just don't see that, man. I just don't.
That's so depressing because he's such a good pitcher. He gives them a 200 strikeout season, feels like every year. The innings pitched is something that does drive me nuts a little bit with him. He made 2 starts in that Cubs series. He went 9 2/3 total. He gave up 5 earned. He struck out 15. He walked 5. If you even look at the last 2 months of the year, and this is just kind of consistent with whom he's been, he made 5 starts in September and 5 in August. I'm doing this math on the fly. He pitched no more than 6 innings in any of them. So he pitched 6 innings in half of those starts, or 4 out of 10 starts. He pitched 5 innings in 4 or 5 of them. My God. If I'm a Brewers fan, I'm ticked off that they don't let my ace go through a third time. That's going to piss me off.
Now I need to look at the splits. If we want to move on, I just want to look at let's just go this year. Let's go first, second, third time through the order and see what he does.
Oh, God. It really does drive me nuts. Some of this stuff. Can't we just see how he's throwing the ball in game 2 and then go from there?
I love that. Okay. First plate appearance, 579 OPS. Second plate appearances, 625. Third plate appearance, 612, baby.
So why in the world should they do anything but keep him in there?
I think they just trust their bullpen a lot. And they have guys. They got guys in that bullpen.
Okay. 3-2 game, Brewers leading, top of 6. Let's say he's at 78 pitches. Is he still on the mound?
I think it depends who's up. And then I think that if they let him go, it's a batter by batter. They have people ready.
Let's say they're at the top of the order. There's a lefty on to face.
I was gonna say, lefty. Lefty's coming in. It's Koenig, it's Ashby, one of the guys.
Okay. I guess sounds good to me.
Now I want to see what he is. Is he a reverse splits guy? Same. 591 right, 615 left.
All right, I'm going to ask you the question you always hate. The series is what going back to Los Angeles for game 3? Is it 2-0 or 1-1?
Just get hate from. It doesn't matter who I choose. I just get hate in my comments.
What do you care?
I don't know. It got to me today a few times. People are just like, man.
Oh, you stop now.
Internet. I think the Dodgers cruise.
Really?
I do.
I think Freddie comes up big time. I do. I didn't love the way Yamamoto threw the ball last week, and I think there could be a couple of clicks.
I would love that, man. I love this Brewers team. I think they can match up really well with the Dodgers. I think that I do think we're gonna get a series. So that would really mean that they're gonna have to win tomorrow.
Yep.
So can I change my answer and just say Brewers because I really want that to happen?
You can pick both teams. I'm not here to tell you what to do, really.
Okay. It's like I think they can match up. And I think they're a very, very good team. But like in my head, I just see the Dodgers as this kind of immovable force.
Okay.
Is that even the right way I used that term?
I got the Crew. It's going to be 1-1.
Let's go.
Heading back to
Yeah.
LA. That's what we got.
Me too. I got both.
Hey, based on hundreds of millions of real-world tests, the experts at Ookla Speed Test, they have spoken. T-Mobile is now the best mobile network in all of America. So you can keep up with all the baseball postseason action from the ballpark and the backcountry. Why? Because T-Mobile has got the most advanced 5G, the most towers, and a signal that goes farther than ever. So whether you're streaming the game out and about, checking stats on the road, or experiencing ballpark perks with Magenta status, you're ready to stay connected wherever your fandom takes you. All you have to do, head on over to T-Mobile.com/network to switch to the very best network around. We'll switch gears, head on over to the ALCS where the Mariners, they have made quite the statement north of the border. Their pen has simply bullied one of the best offenses around. And Trevor, your former teammate, continues to dominate at the dish.
Shot to right center field. Varsho on the run. He's at the track. He's at the wall. It's gone! It's Polanco again! Jorge Polanco is owning October for the Mariners. He's given them a 6-3 lead.
Just his at-bats have been so good. You know, whether it's right-handed or left-handed. Tonight it was left-handed. I thought the at-bat there to get the 3-run homer was a huge turnaround for us. You know, we had kind of given up the lead. It had been tied up there again, and to get that 3-run lead back.
That's Dan Wilson, the mustache man with a 2-0 series lead in the best of 7. How happy are you for your former teammate?
I mean, I'm very happy for him. I think he's, if you've ever met him, you know how good of a guy he is. Kind of quiet, kind of just goes about his business, but, cares deeply about the game. It's a guy that has a very slow heartbeat, loves the team aspect of the game. I don't know. There's just so much to like about Jorge Polanco. And, for a while in the offseason, he wasn't getting a deal. They were talking about on the broadcast how his agent had to have his doctor write a note to the team saying like, he's okay, guys, like he's fine, like he's ready to go. So credit to the Mariners for, I think they see the kind of guy he is, especially for the clubhouse, which still means a lot in my opinion. Like getting a good clubhouse guys together means a lot. He's one of the best. So they got him back. He started the year off like a freaking monster, and then kind of tailed off as the season went on, but then picked it right back up in this postseason. He's been their MVP of the postseason.
In 3 straight games, he has delivered the go-ahead RBI. A lot of people here are not old enough to remember a stat that was called game-winning RBI. It was actually called GWRBI, and it could happen. The weird thing was it could happen in the first inning. Let's say somebody hit a first inning home run and you never gave up the lead. You'd get credit for what's called a game-winning RBI. So it was kind of a silly little thing. His have come at the earliest in the 6th inning, and the latest in the 15th. And he has delivered in the biggest moments. And I think part of it is because teams can't figure out who to bring in to face him. And when you have an over 800 OPS in a season from both sides of the dish, good luck with that, because that'll screw with every manager and their plans during October.
Yeah, I think today, Mariners get Randy got on the ground ball up the middle. He ends up getting a second. They walk Cal. They bring in Louis. I think, Schneider thinks Louis their best reliever right now. I think he keeps getting put in these big situations, no matter where they're at in the game. And he's got great stuff. He's left, few too many balls over the plate, but he gets Julio, and then I believe he was up 0-2 on Jorge. Am I wrong about that?
I think you're right.
No, it was a 1-1 fastball.
Okay.
But just didn't make his pitch, and Jorge made him pay. So it's a great swing. You mentioned it. He's got the platoon advantage no matter what, because he has the equal splits, but he also has just a really short, compact swing. So guys that have velo like this don't affect him like they would with a guy with a bigger kind of swing.
Okay, makes sense. We asked on Monday's show how Trey Savage was going to end up performing in his second postseason start. It was nothing close to what it was against the Yankees. And right out of the gate, we all thought it was strike 3 on Randy Arozarena. Everybody except the person who is paid to call balls and strikes. So that was a rough start because he ended up hitting him. Raleigh gets on, and then Julio does his thing, and it's 3-0, and you could just feel a little bit of the air sucked out of that building. Now, the Blue Jays came back with a couple of their own, and they ended up tying the game and everything. But when you're expecting one thing out of a kid and he delivers a sort of a performance that a guy who's had less than 10 major league starts and is 22 years old, this is what happens. We should be more surprised when guys do what he did against the Yankees than when something like this happens.
Yeah, it's just a crazy situation to be in. He started an A ball, just got drafted last year, right? So to expect so much out of someone, I understand how good he's looked, and I understand what kind of pitcher he's going to be. But yes, these are professional hitters. You say it all the time. They drive nice cars too. He got he got Julio 0-2 here, throws a splitter in the dirt, then just leaves one hanging. And again, these guys are dang good hitters. And you're right. The Blue Jays, to their credit, fought back and got back in this game, tied it up. Lucas, who we didn't even know was going to be in the lineup, he had a great game. But the story is, sure, it's Polanco. Yes, it's the Mariners bullpen, but it's the lack of offense that I think is the biggest story going for the Blue Jays right now.
Yeah. In that case, why don't we hear from their skipper as they're trying to get back into this thing and create a little bit of history for the Blue Jays?
Always going to have optimism about this team. I think just looking at it as a whole, we got to figure out ways to generate some more offense, and give the guys a ton of credit for coming back, down 3, you tie it. They just made more swings than us the last 2 games, kind of what it comes down to. So we got to figure out a way to limit damage, 1, and 2, generate more offense.
Okay. I mean, generate more offense. It's not like the NFL where you're scheming stuff up and calling plays. How do you generate more offense? Would you tell them to be more patient at the plate, to be unafraid of hitting with 2 strikes? What would you do?
I would. Well, you just hope that Vladdy turns it on. So you want your guys to be guys. I think you could talk about being a little bit more patient. Although, you just want to be the hitters that you are. I'm a big proponent of the bunt. You got Gino at third base. I think you could test him a little bit more. Let's get some base runners on. Let's start to get aggressive on the base pass like we know we can do. Try to turn the lineup over for Vladdy and let him do his thing. That's always going to be my answer. You want to generate offense? Put pressure on the defense. How do you do that? Let's lay some drag bunts down. Let's do it, man. If there's one guy, I know they kept talking about the Mariners being really bad defensively. I don't really think that's the case, around the diamond, but Gino's not a great third baseman, especially coming in on the ball. I don't think he's got a ton of quickness that way. So if there is a time where he's giving you an inch, go ahead and try to take one. I think that's what you got to do. And then, just work the counts as best you can. But the thing is, you can say you want to do that, work counts and see more pitches, but the Mariners pitching staff has been really, really good, and they're not allowing them to do that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, good luck. You're going against Kirby and Castillo in games 3 and 4. It'll be Shane Bieber in game 3 for the Blue Jays. They're undecided in game 4. By the way, you surprised no Woo?
In the game or in the
Just, I mean,
rotation.
I thought maybe he would start game 3 when they got back to
It
Seattle.
could, you know what? It could have been a great time to get him in there today,
Oh, you're right.
but they didn't really
Yeah,
have to do
well,
that.
but he threw like a I'm not going to say I guess it was a live BP he threw before the game because I think they wanted to see how he was doing. So maybe game 5, something like that.
From all accounts, it doesn't sound like he's starting a game, and if he does, it's going to be with a pitch count. So I'm not really surprised in that.
No, I'm saying that out of the bullpen, even I don't think you'll see him until game 5. That's what I would guess.
At this point, fine, right?
Sure.
You're up 2-0. Like, I mean, I don't want to say they're already thinking about the World Series, but I think you're starting to game plan a little bit differently when you're up 2-0.
Maybe if you're the Blue Jays, you use the football thing and you show them old game film of the last time they went to Seattle. They swept the series. Granted, it was in the middle of May, but they outscored the Mariners 21-7, put up a lot of runs there. So maybe you show that and, hey, let's feel good about where we are. Here's the bad news. Do you want this stat or not?
Give me the stats. How many teams? 3?
28 times in a best-of-7 series, a team has lost the first 2 games at home. Only 3. The 85 Royals, the 86 Mets, the 96 Yankees have come back to win. I suppose the good news is all 3 of those teams won the World Series.
I bet you can name a lot of those players, can't you?
Oh, my God. See, now that's a little quiz show we should do. All this new age stuff where we only go, hey, we were digging back to 2013 to see the hits leader. Let me start doing some lineups from World Series teams in the 80s and 70s.
I could do 96. I don't know. In the 80s, I'm out.
Yeah, I could do that.
Dalton Feely is like you and Dalton, kind of the same.
Yeah, I know. He's the new age Chris Rose when it comes to like stuff that happened in his lifetime, which is not a
great
good
memory.
Yeah, he does.
I wish I had a better memory.
Yeah, but I don't know anything about anything else outside of this silly sports stuff. My question was going to be, how toasted do the Blue Jays feel? Does it feel over?
It doesn't feel good.
Look at these faces. Look at these faces of these fans. They were so excited.
Doesn't feel good. You recognize it is a 7-game set. So what? You got to win 4 out of the next
5.
And you could do that. You've done it.
Look at that kid.
I know. And they really they wanted to win one in front of the home crowd and it didn't happen. You don't feel good, obviously, but I think that that's a great reaction right there. I don't think they're like packing their bags up.
Well, they're packing their bags for Seattle. You mean they're not packing their bags for the season?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to throw this one at you. Shane Bieber's last start as a Cleveland Guardian came in Seattle before he blew out his elbow. And he diced him up.
Okay.
I forget. It might have been 6 or 7. Amazing. I think he pitched shutout ball, a couple of hits. So I think that he's going to pave the way. He did not pitch well in Game 3 in New York. I think he will pitch well, and he will let the Jays offense get going.
We'd love that. We want these series to go long. We don't
Totally.
Yeah.
If you don't have a team you're rooting for, you want 7-game series. I'm just telling you, you'll feel better so you can say, gosh, that was fun.
And none of these 7-run differentials. Like let's get a close one, man.
Exactly. All right. This news came right after we taped our show on Monday morning. So I was a little ticked with the timing, but that's okay, Mike Shildt. You don't have to clear everything with us at Baseball Today. He's done in San Diego after 2 years. He retired from the team, even though his contract still went on a couple more years. Put out a quote saying, "The grind of baseball season has taken a severe toll on me mentally, physically, and emotionally." How much of a shot is this for the Padres organization?
It's interesting. My feelings on managers. It's to me like I feel like he's in a good situation, good city, like a GM that's willing to make moves and go for it. He's only 57. I thought he was way older than that. Is that mean to say? I don't know.
Yeah, it is a little mean to say.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I thought he was at least in his late 60s. I did. So he's not
late 60s.
Yes, dude.
Oh my God.
Maybe I just don't know my ages. I don't know. This guy's only 17 years older than me. That makes me feel insane. So that's kind of where my head's at. I don't know what this means, dude. There's 10 managerial openings right now, Chris. What are we doing?
Well, there's one's been filled. Skip Schumacher, congratulations on the Rangers. I think, aren't there's now we're back to 8, right?
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I've lost track because there's so many.
I'm on trade rumors.
Okay, hold on. Padres, Giants, Twins, Nationals, Rockies. Who else are we forgetting? Is Baltimore open? Baltimore's open, right?
Yes, you might be right because it says 10 out of 30 teams will enter 2026 with a different manager. So, yeah, Skip already is one.
Well, because Pittsburgh, Don Kelly got extended. So he obviously did not start the year. Derek Shelton did.
Okay.
So I think that's
8
where
left.
the 10 come. So there are 8 openings still.
Even that number is insane.
It is. That's a large number. I wonder if did the way that his statement read that he's not 100% in on this retirement thing. Do you think he was asked to go?
I have no idea. I don't know.
All right, let me throw out a number at you.
Okay.
Shildt is the 5th full-time manager to leave during the A.J. Preller era. And this has been an unprecedented run for this organization in terms of success over the last several years. Does that tell you anything?
I mean, I don't know. He says he's not looking to manage at the moment. I need a break to take care of myself.
So unless it's a health thing, and we certainly hope that that's not it.
Yeah, I don't know if like he's got forced out or I don't know. How could you force somebody out? He could just say no, like you got to fire me.
Right. You're still going to get paid. We don't know exactly what the
Maybe they gave him
financials
a couple extra dollars.
Weird. Because it's not like
who's
San
going to
Diego.
manage all these teams, dude?
I don't know. But
like, is Rocco going to manage the Padres? Like, are there going to be a bunch of fired managers that just go to another organization? I guess that's my question.
Yeah, how many of those jobs are going to be filled by people? Is Joe Madden getting a job? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean like the guys that got fired this year. Like,
but
are they going to find themselves just in a different organization?
Do you think that Joe Madden's going to get a job?
I don't. Does he want to? He probably does, doesn't he?
I would think he does. I would think so.
You know what? A lot of the guys, like former teammates of mine, are ready to go. I think Nick Punto should be up for. I think he might be a managerial candidate for the Padres. I think Torrey's obviously a huge get for somebody.
Well, it sounds like Albert Pujols is almost done. That they've now got
his choice.
They've now gotten to the financial side of this whole thing. If you're the Angels, aren't you like, bro? We gave you $240. You got us to 3 playoff games. Can't you manage the team?
He's already making money from whatever position that he filled.
The personal services contract, like, come on, that is a great one. Why don't you have one of those?
I might, dude. Let me work my magic. I'm getting into the Twins Hall of Fame. You know that. It's going to be more so for my broadcasting career. I got to do a few more games, but I've already started talks for next year.
Yeah, you have to work into your early 40s at least for that.
I'm doing my best.
Let us know, who do you think's ending up where in the whole managerial carousel thing? I can't wait till we get to that in the offseason because I don't think you can make any announcements during the World Series. So teams have about a week left before they can't announce it until November, which I'm perfectly fine with. We could save it for the content then.
Yeah, we need it.
Yeah. As we all know, playoff season is here. So whether you're at a watch party or a tailgate or hanging with friends after the game, you know that nothing levels up those moments like a refreshing tropical lime kick of Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Baja Blast. It's absolutely legendary. It's now available everywhere, so you can grab a can or a bottle and bring that tropical flavor to your next watch party. So this postseason, hanging out with friends, you're rooting for your favorite team, you're grabbing food late night after the game, maybe the fall tailgate for a little college football, grab something that will really help tie it all together. It is Baja Blast. Do not wait. Grab Mountain Dew Baja Blast today and taste the tropical refresh that takes every occasion to the next level. Find it now at mountaindew.com/finddew. All right, I know we're only in October, but did you know it was Thanksgiving on Monday? It was Canadian Thanksgiving. And because Fox was doing the game up in Toronto, Joe Davis, John Smoltz brought out a little delicacy.
You have to cut the whole breast.
Excellent.
Thanks. You have a plate? I don't want to use my score sheet. Plate just appeared. So you got the whole breast. You've cut there. And now you do this. And everybody
Gets to enjoy.
gets a little bit of skin. All right.
What are you shaking your head about?
No, excellent job. No notes right there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in charge of cutting the turkey, and he crushed it right there. That was very impressive. Those are not big booths that they're in, so like not a lot of space. And he had a nice sharp knife there because that skin, that thing didn't wiggle at all. He put that knife right through it. Love it. I was about to say, Canada, get your own holidays, but apparently they've had Thanksgiving prior to us having Thanksgiving.
Oh, boy.
Did you know that?
I did not know that it was longer, but
Martin Frobisher and his crew held a feast of thanks in 1578 for safe passage to the New World, which predates the 1621 Pilgrim Harvest Feast in the United States.
Had a way. Thank you, Professor Plouffe.
Yeah, that was from AI on Google.
Oh, God, Dan Rourke, you're amazing. I thought it was a job well done by Joe Davis. Some people did not like it because they're like, wait a second, would you like it if your teams were playing? Well, okay, I get it. I understand, but it was just a little time.
To be honest with you, I thought it was weird.
It was a little strange.
Like, I didn't like the carving, excellent. Bringing it in the booth, I thought was weird. And then John Smoltz was eating it. Hopefully he was like on the cough button for his mic. I didn't hear him chewing, but that's like one thing you just can't do.
No, I don't like.
And he was hungry, dude. You could tell he was starving. He's like, give me more of that turkey.
Yeah. Well, first of all, that turkey looked very moist. There's a real fine balance between cooking the turkey too long. Okay, Joe, I hear you. You got to grab. Well, that's not exactly a great soundbite for Joe.
He did a great job.
He did do a great job, and it looked moist. And I think I'm going to utilize it because I am the turkey carver at Thanksgiving.
Do you use now? I've done both. I have like a electric carver, and I also have like a good sharp knife. I prefer, like for the breast, I think real knife, and then when you go around the rest, electric carver. I don't know. I think real knife's the best.
Have you ever done a turducken?
No, that's disgusting.
Some people love it.
It's disgusting.
How about a fried turkey?
I have fried a turkey before. Mm-hmm. I don't prefer doing that. It's good. But I've done a zillion different types of turkeys. They all taste good.
I'm sure you have done it all. Hey, Slashline is the new way to shop your favorite gear from John Boy Media's store. Same JM merch, same awesome designs, just a better website, a better experience, a cooler name for our store as well. Slashline, it's all about showing off our favorite teams, our favorite players, our favorite moment, loud and proud. All you have to do, click the link in the description to shop now. Who knows, maybe we will get like a turducken shirt that I can buy Plouffe in time for the American version of Thanksgiving. We'll see. We are back at it again. Hopefully you're enjoying the early morning show if you're on the East Coast commute. That's good. We'll be having another one of these out fresh. We'll be breaking down Game 2 of the NLCS in our next episode, previewing Game 3 of the ALCS as it shifts from Toronto A to Seattle. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our awesome intern Sawyer. That is the uber talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. We will see you Wednesday here on another playoff edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew Baja Blast.